What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Guys, I really didn't want to touch on this. I even got an email today asking about me to weigh in on the Kevin Durant situation. And I really didn't want to go into the detail about this, but I think that I've changed my mind and I will discuss this whole situation with Michael Rapaport. And we all would look at what's going on with Kevin Durant being super sensitive and Kevin Durant being sensitive about what people say about him and that being attached to possibly him being raised by a single mother. But I mean, I think it's more than just that. And, you know, we got to really look at things objectively and look at what's the reason that Kevin Durant is upset. Okay. Now, Kevin Durant has been criticized since his high school days. And yes, he has made troll accounts and things of that nature before to, you know, go back and forth with people. But the reason that Kevin Durant is mad, in my opinion, it doesn't even happen, is because he is somebody that he thought Michael Rapaport was his friend. Okay? That's really where it's about. Because if I talk trash about Kevin Durant, he's not going to message me or threaten me or use that kind of language with me. And I know people are so tied up in the language that he used. I understand that it's bad. But I mean, come on now. We're from a different era. You know, I'm not trying to excuse it, but, you know, as black men, like, it's not as offensive as others would make it. Not trying to say that it's not right, but, you know, we wouldn't look at it in our culture, in our community, as how let's say white mainstream media makes it look. Okay? But he's considering that Michael Rapaport was a friend. And for Michael Rapaport to go out and basically say he's deeply in his feelings about, you know, after a game, and he's super sensitive about everything, when this guy is supposed to be a friend of yours, that's why Kevin Durant is upset. Okay? Because if Michael Rapaport really felt that way about Kevin Durant, it's something that he could have told him personally, but not to go to Twitter and tweet about it. Now, Kevin Durant's response to Michael Rapaport, you know, although he's roasting him and talking about his wife, and Michael Rapaport is married to a black woman, it seems like a conversation that, you know, friends would have if they're mad at one another, and it's something that they could just talk about as men as time goes on and get over, in my opinion. Michael Rapaport, though, decided to become a snitch. Right? Now, he wants to pretend to be cool with black folks in the black community, but he turned into Mr. White Man really quick when he put out those tweets about Kevin Durant. Okay? And Kevin Durant, you know, he said that he's, you know, sorry that everybody had to see that. He didn't really apologize for the words that he used. And I can understand why he wouldn't apologize for that, because I read that language. He's talking to Michael Rapaport, and he's not trying to offend anybody but him, in my opinion. Okay, he's talking about, I'm gonna spit on you and stuff like that. So you want to say that he was saying maybe, you know, anti-LGBT slurs. I mean, it's quite obvious from anybody that has read those tweets and those responses from Kevin Durant. He's talking about him. It's a roast. It's talking shit about people. It's in the culture. It's not aimed at a certain community, and people are making it more than what that is. And that's how folks talk from the hood. He's talking only about him. Okay? That's the way that I see it, even though I know that if you're not from our community, you would understand that. But the reality is that Kevin Durant is trusting a person who's letting you know, like, hey, bro, I'm really not your friend, and I'm also not a part of your culture. Okay? I feel like putting you out there, even though I'm married to a black woman, like, you know, I don't have the ability to be able to understand why you're mad at me, and I'm supposed to be your friend, but I want to make you look bad in front of the world because, you know, I want ratings. I want you to listen to the podcast, and you never really was my friend. And oh, by the way, you know, I might act like I'm down with the blacks, but it's a possibility in this case, you know, now I'm back to being a snitch. You know, I'm just culture vulturing over here. Okay, that's kind of my take on the situation. And I think that what we need to look at is, I mean, obviously, yes, Kevin Durant played a part in responding emotionally to a guy like this. And, you know, he's definitely a great player. And even a person like Michael Rapaport has never in his wildest dreams been on the same level as Kevin Durant or anything. But I think as black men, we need to understand there are certain conversations with people of not out of the African-American community that we can't have as the same way we can have with each other. Okay? If Kevin Durant is having this with, you know, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, you know, you can have that conversation. But with people that's not from your community, I don't care who they married to, they don't care about you the same. They're not gonna look at you the same way. Which is why Michael Rapaport went out and put it out, you know. And Michael Rapaport is a snitch. No other NBA basketball player that's African American should ever confide in Michael Rapaport because he is a snitch. Okay? Like, honestly. And I'm saying this because there's some things that go on behind the scenes between players we never know about it because of the code. All right? Because of the code. Michael Rapaport, I don't care how cool he think he is, he's not a part, he doesn't understand our struggle, and he probably does, but he wants to make the guy look bad. If it was that bad as something that he could have did was block the guy, it's Kevin Durant, come on, man. Like, you guys were friends before. That's my opinion. But also Kevin Durant has to understand that, bro, you know, people are going to turn on you because you're hot. Like, you haven't played a lot of games this year. People kind of look at you as a person that's a complainer or a crybaby, even though you're one of the greatest players in the last 15 years. But so what? You're a very talented ball player, bro. Like, I'm just going to be honest. You're one of the best ball players I've ever. You're one of the most efficient players in the history of the league. At this point, you made so much money. You have so much talent. You got to be able to understand, man, that so many people are going to be coming after you, even the ones that you think that are your friends. I mean, even here on YouTube, I'm not even one of the biggest YouTubers in the black YouTube. I'm known, but I'm not one of the biggest YouTubers. And I have people that I was cool with coming after me all the time. People like, oh, damn, bro, I didn't know that you felt like that, because everybody wants eyeballs. But at the same time, this is why we need mentorship. This is why black men need mentorship, because where is Kevin? And I agree with Stephen A. Smith's take on this. Where is Kevin Durant's mentorship? Where is the person that tells Kevin Durant, like, yo, bro, like, you need to call me before you make a decision to do something like this? And a lot of times, a lot of these guys have a false security, like, you know, because I'm talking to men about this, you know, if I send this threat, you know, nobody's going to trip off it. Bro, everything you do, you make millions of dollars. People are looking for a reason to expose you or talk about you or extort money from you. You know, you need to play it real safe, man. If you can't handle how people talk about you, then don't use social media. You know, same thing the other day. I heard Russell Westbrook's wife, you know, getting mad at Stephen A. Smith for an opinion. These people are going to have an opinion, okay? And, you know, and I want to say this, you know, like, my report is married to a black woman. A lot of times we start to allow certain guys, man, like, oh, well, you know, he can come to the barbecue, his wife is black, and then you see, like, uh-oh, well, there's a problem. Like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of guys, you know, we allow ourselves to get comfortable with people that's not from our community just so it can backfire. Okay? Like, same thing with, you know, what's going on with Chet Hanks and his, you know, and his chick. And you know, we talked about the one, what's that guy, man? Gary, whatever his name is. You know, this white guy that's a comedian, his wife is black. You guys know what I'm talking about, okay? Gary Owens. We see how that worked out. Like, a lot of times, man, we have to understand that, okay, we cannot have the same conversations with other groups of people than we can with our own. All right? Everybody is, you know, we live by, as a group of men, we live by a different code, bro. Even black YouTube, the black content creator community, there's a different style of content in offense that people take or don't take over here that they do in general YouTube. You know, we just got to understand that we're different, bro. That doesn't make it wrong, but, you know, we got to stop, you know, dealing with folk out there because we think they're in the same culture, man, and they're not. So, guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. Check out the first comment pinned to the top. Check out the Patreon. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.